Welcome everyone. It is Tuesday Tip from the Demo Bar with Julia at the Paper and Ink Boutique, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my favorite stamp platform. So let's get started. A stamp platform. Many of you out there may already have a stamp platform. There's several of them out on the market. Some have come, some have gone, some are better than others. Some are different sizes. There's many out there. Some of you may have never heard of or used a stamp platform. So I will tell you why I like this particular one. This one is from Couture Creations, and it is called the Precision Stamp Press. This is available on our online store, and excuse mine's pretty dirty because I use it all the time. So why I like this one? Well, first of all, the size. I like this size. It is good for cards, it's good for tags. I can use it on scrapbooking pages. I have used this to stamp in my art journal. I love it. I use it all of the time. I don't know if you can tell, it is like super dirty. This is actually clean. I cleaned it before I started this, and that's as clean as it's probably going to get. The magnets come pre-wrapped like this, which is great. So if your magnets stick together like that, you can easily pull them apart. It is open on 3 sides. That means it's flat. I can put lots of different things in here. I can use it for a scrapbooking page. I can use it for an 8.5 by 11, my art journal. It is lovely. Also, it is spring hinged. So what that means is it will work with both rubber and cling stamps, and you don't need to remember to put in any inserts in here or switch your lid over. You can just put your stamp in and go. So a few different ideas on why I love my stamp platform is basically for getting a nice crisp stamp. So this is going to be made into a card, and what I did, this one is cut, I believe 3 1/4 by 8.5 maybe. And I did my background. I blended the inks, and then I stamped it with a silhouette stamp that I have. And I stamped this probably 5 or 6 times because I wanted to get it nice and dark and as black as possible. So all I did was I put this in here after I inked it and dried it, put my stamp on, and then stamped it with my Gina K ink probably about 5 or 6 times. So what I did is I actually lined it right up here because there is the odd chance that your paper is going to move when you lift your stamp up. So I put it up against that edge, I put my stamp down, and then I stamped it over and over and over and over again, reapplying ink in between each press to make sure I got the darkest ink possible. Another reason why I like the stamp press is stamping sentiments. So this was the Tailored Expressions Christmas Simple Strips, and I stamped it on black using my Stays On Pigment Snowflake. So this tends to be a little bit of a sticky ink, but I love it because it's white. I stamped this, I believe, 3 times. The first time I stamped it, it was fine. There was one spot where I didn't press hard enough, so it was really light. And in other spots, it was I hadn't pressed down, so it was still kind of gray. I stamped it 3 times, and now I've got everything is this nice, crisp white on black. And now I can put that through using the die, and I will have all these wonderful white sentiments stamped on black. So again, I stamped that 3 times to get that white nice and crisp on there. Now, another reason why I like the stamp platform, or why I like this particular one, is if I want to add some stamping onto a scrapbooking page. So you can see because it's open on 3 sides, I can put a 12 by 12 piece of paper in there. I can put it wherever I want. I can move it up and down. And it lays completely flat. So a technique I'm going to show you right now. Now, I don't know if you remember, but I made this page last week on a Facebook Live. I'm going to put let me just move this down a little bit. This is one of my favorite stencils. I love this one. So I'm going to put my magnets on there. It's going to hold everything in place. And then I'm going to take one of my stamps that I love, and I put a little bit of adhesive on here because it wasn't sticking to my stamp platform earlier. So I'm going to lay that in here. Let me move that up a little bit further. Close the lid, open it up. I'm going to ink it. Now some of you are saying, oh, that's crooked. Well, it doesn't really matter to me if it's crooked because what I'm going to use it for doesn't need to be straight. Okay, now I'm going to stamp it. So I am stamping through the stencil so that you will only see it in that circle area, wherever there's a circle. I'm just going to stamp that again. Okay, I'm not going to move my stamp. What I'm going to do, I'm going to move my paper down a little bit here. Let's move it down again. So all I'm doing is just adding some interest on my scrapbooking background. Perfect. I didn't ink it up again because I did want it lighter. Now I'm going to move it all the way down so this big circle is down there. And I'm going to stamp it one more time. Perfect. Just light enough. Now if I wanted to, I could turn this and add in a little bit more. But I really like that. It's just added in a little bit of something there. And now I can use that as an area where I can add some photos. I can add something else. Actually, let's move it. Let's move it like this and add in a little bit more. And let's go down here and add some at the top. Still using my magnets, still gonna hold it in place there. Just gonna move that down. Oops. There and there. That should be good. And there we are. So there, I've added just in a little bit of stamping down there and everything is in its own little circle. I love it. I've just added enough. And now I'm ready to finish my scrapbooking page. And doing it, I'll probably save this and we'll probably later in the week, we'll finish this off and make a scrapbooking page. So there you have it. The Couture Creation Precision Stamp Press, good for card making, scrapbooking, and for art journaling. Thank you for joining me today, and we'll be back next week with another tip from the demo bar.